Who the heck was the target demographic? Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today, we're counting down our picks for the top 10 failed cell phone designs you would not believe. For this list, we'll be looking at various cell phone and smartphone designs that simply didn't work, be it in terms of functionality or in terms of marketing. Some were an attempt to mesh phones with other technology, while others sought to revolutionize cell phone design. The only thing they all have in common, missing the mark. If you like what you're hearing, be sure to check out the full song at the link below. Number 10. ASEER AE+Y. We begin our list with a bit of an outlier. Rather than actually innovate, ASEER instead attempted to corner the high-end phone market by using super high-value materials. But for all that gold, ceramic plating, sapphire crystal, and high-quality screws, they essentially released a blinged-out burner of a phone. We'll remind you that this came out in 2011, by which point Apple was already onto the iPhone 4S, and yet the ASEER AE+Y didn't even have the ability to connect to the internet. It looks like the cell phone equivalent of a designer watch and had the price tag to match, with models ranging from $8,000 to $60,000. But despite its appearance, it was an embarrassingly basic phone. Number 9. Motorola ROKR E1. Nothing says we're trying too hard like putting the word rocker in the name of your phone. Motorola billed this as their iTunes phone because of its focus on media capabilities. It had iTunes integrated into the phone, and in Motorola's defense, this was pretty revolutionary given that the ROKR was the first mobile phone to do so.
So you can look at albums, artists, songs, you can select an artist, you can play a song right on the phone, just like you're used to doing.
It predated the Apple iPhone by 2 full years. The thing is, the technological leaps between the ROKR and the iPhone felt more like a decade's worth of difference.
This is the last phone you'd have expected a company like Apple to go anywhere near.
The ROKR held a paltry 100 songs, which was laughable compared to dedicated MP3 players. USB 2.0 had been around for years, and yet the ROKR limited media transfers to a painfully slow USB 1.1 technology.
100 tunes in your phone, baby.
Hello, Moto.
Number 8. Siemens Celebre 6. Yikes. There's innovative cell phone design, and then there's this. We're all for questioning design assumptions in the name of greater efficiency, but this feels like change for the sake of change. Mimicking the shape of a makeup compact and based on the color scheme, we can see what Siemens was going for with the Celebre 6. They were clearly attempting to give fashionable women a cell phone that fit their aesthetic and was sure to turn heads whenever they pulled it out. The addition of 2 mirrors seemed fitting, but who wants to dial numbers that have been configured like that? Despite an aggressive marketing campaign, the entire Celebre line flopped. Number 7. Blackberry Passport.
To make a big decision, we must leave behind a narrow vision and work wide. Introducing the new Blackberry Passport.
Poor Blackberry. For those of you who are too young to remember, this smartphone was once synonymous with quality and considered a status symbol. BlackBerry was the phone of choice for businessmen and those who needed to get things done. Unfortunately for the company, touchscreens won the smartphone arms race and became a must-have. BlackBerry was forced to innovate or die, and sadly, none of their efforts really found the mark. The BlackBerry Passport had a touchscreen, but also a physical keyboard that also doubled as a touchpad. But the Passport-inspired wider shape made it clunky and difficult to carry around, and the screen's distinct dimensions proved problematic with video and apps. Most damning, the new keyboard was considered a step backwards from earlier Blackberries. Number 6. CompuLab XE. Never even heard of the company, let alone the specific model? You're not alone in that regard. CompuLab is best known for their computers and computer parts, specifically small format industrial PCs. In 2009, however, they attempted to break into the smartphone market with a similarly niche device, the CompuLab XE. The thing that sets it apart from the competition? An Ethernet port. You heard that right, you could plug directly into the internet the old-fashioned way. It also featured an expansion slot, inviting the addition of hardware to suit your specific needs, like you might do with a PC. The problem is that these unique features also make the phone quite bulky. Add to that a high price, and it appeals to only a select few customers. Number 5. Nokia 7280. Did you think that clamshell phone was bad? Well, the Celebre 6 ain't got nothing on this. Shaped like a lipstick tube and reminiscent of some very early MP3 player designs, the Nokia 7280 is more gimmick than functional cell phone. As you may have noticed, one of the biggest game changers that Nokia introduced with this unique design is the lack of keypad. And before you get excited and guess voice-controlled dialing, allow us to jump in and say no. You had to enter the numbers using the scroll wheel. You know, like how you used to select songs on your iPod, except with this phone, you need to slowly dial 6 to 9 numbers that way. Number 4, Google's Project Ara. A phone too strange for this world. No, seriously, Google never actually released it. First announced in 2013, Project Ara was a prototype modular smartphone design that asked the question, what if we could upgrade our smartphones rather than replace them? The idea was that you would buy your basic chassis or frame and then be able to customize your phone with modular cameras, displays, processors, batteries, and a whole slew of peripherals and hardware to make your phone tailor-suited to your needs.
It doesn't have your main processor, your cellular radio, or even a screen. Adding all those things on piecemeal can make for a pretty bulky phone, but ATAP has managed to build something that doesn't look completely ridiculous.
It was touted as a way to reduce waste and potentially make quality smartphones more accessible. Originally intended for wide release in 2017, it was instead quietly shelved in 2016. Number 3, Sony Ericsson Xperia Play. If one company was well positioned to bridge the gap between smartphones and gaming before all others, it was Sony. With the success of their various PlayStation consoles, both stationary and handheld, and their experience across the spectrum of tech, they had this in the bag. The Sony Ericsson Xperia Play was advertised as a PS Vita, and a smartphone all wrapped into one sleek package. And it accomplished this with a full gamepad that slid out from behind the screen. Unfortunately, its hardware was just too restrictive. It couldn't make the leap to Android 4.0, and that effectively rendered this once promising and novel smartphone utterly obsolete. Of course, a lack of stable gameplay did not help. Number 2, Toshiba G450. Is that a portable speaker? Some sort of electronic memory game from the 90s? Nope. It's a cell phone that Toshiba released in 2008. Just as a refresher, the first iPhone hit the market in 2007. Who Toshiba thought would opt for this little gizmo instead, we have no idea. But they went ahead and made it. The G450 was intended as a hybrid cell phone, MP3 player, and portable modem. Translation: too many things at once. The design was simply too odd for anyone to ever really master. Each button served a wide variety of potential functions depending on what menu you were navigating at the time. In short, it was far more headache than its functionality was worth. Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable, or should we say dishonorable, mentions. Samsung Galaxy Beam.
I have to say, it works impressively well for what it is. You turn on the built-in Pico projector by pressing a button on the side of the phone. True to its name, the phone will then beam out whatever it is that's on your phone screen.
Asus Pad Phone.
Oh, I think I had it there. There we go. And close it in. And as you can see, it transforms very much like a transformer to the tablet interface for Android 4.0.
Bang & Olufsen Serene.
As for tracks, if you want to listen to something, you just raise the speaker on the back and give it a whirl.
Motorola Flip Out.
Has that same square shape with the flipping or swivel action. It's about 2.8 inches, which is fine for most phones, but on a touchscreen phone, found it just not adequate.
Nokia 7600. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You'll have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Nokia Ngage. We've gotta hand it to Nokia. No one could accuse them of playing it safe. In the aughts, they seemingly had a no such thing as bad ideas approach to cell phone design. But of all their inefficient designs, this one reigned supreme. Released in 2003, it was similar to Nintendo's Game Boy Advanced, released in 2001, in terms of its shape and grip. It also attempted to take a bite out of Nintendo's sales by having the phone double as a portable gaming console. With only a handful of launch titles, however, it simply could not compete. Its shape also earned it the unflattering nickname Taco Phone. Add to that its many design flaws and a steep price tag, and it was a flop by all metrics.
New Ngage QD. Choose the right weapon to win the fight.
Do you agree with our picks? Let us know in the comments. And hey, if you're a fan of the song playing right now, be sure to check out the music video for it right here.